So is that the process that was used when Boris Johnson, as the Foreign Secretary, tried to appoint his girlfriend, subsequently his wife, to become his Chief of Staff?
I wasn't in the Foreign Office then, I wasn't in this job then, I'm afraid I can't comment.
No knowledge at all
of
these allegations.
Have you investigated those allegations?
No, we haven't investigated those allegations.
Why not? Because Lord Geidt, who you've praised to high heaven today, has said this is ripe for investigation.
Has he said that? I've not seen not seen a direct quote on that.
Well, a direct quote is, inverted commas, in the Times, so it must be true. Could be ripe for investigation.
I'm not sure there was a direct quote, actually.
Well, it's certainly inverted commas here.
All right, I'm not.
So I read it to you. Lord Geidt believes allegations that Boris Johnson tried to appoint his future wife to a plum and good, in quotes, could be ripe for investigation. The Telegraph can reveal. Sorry, but apologise.
I'm not sure that necessarily is a direct quote from Lord Geidt, actually.
It's certainly in inverted commas. Whether it was a direct quote or not,
it's a matter of public.
Isn't this sufficient for you to warrant an investigation?
Well, so this is where we get into the processes that exist. An investigation under the Ministerial Code, under the current rubric, can only be authorised by the Prime Minister.
Is he not keen?
Sorry?
Is he not keen?
I think these are questions that obviously need to be directed to the Prime Minister.
Right, interesting. Mr. McDonnell?
I just want this for the record, really. You're the Cabinet Secretary.
Yep.
Here is a potential flagrant abuse of power, and you're resting on the argument that you're not permitted by the Ministerial Code, i.e. by the Prime Minister, to investigate this matter.
I do not have an independent right of initiation of investigations.
Have you discussed this matter with the Prime Minister,
I'm not going to
suggesting this is something for you to investigate, at least the facts of?
I'm not going to go into the conversations I have with the Prime Minister.
Haven't you any responsibility as one of the most senior civil servants in government to uphold standards at all?
I am very aware of my responsibilities under the Civil Service Code, and I take them very seriously.
Yet here we have the potential breach of some of basic standards by someone in high office.
Yep.
And a former ethics advisor has actually think this is ripe for investigation. And you haven't even raised it with the Prime Minister?
That is not what I said. I said I'm not commenting on my private conversations with the Prime Minister. And I've also told you that I take my responsibilities very seriously. I have throughout my career, and I continue to do that.
I'm interpreting that as that you have had a conversation with the Prime Minister.
I am not going to get into confirming or denying conversations that I have with the Prime Minister about this. It's absolutely vital to maintain the trust that needs to exist, not just the Prime Minister and me, but between the civil service and ministers, that conversations we have remain private.
You can understand, though, can't
I
you?
can
Let me finish the sentence.
I absolutely accept
you can understand
the point
that there's
you're
some
making.
contradiction between the statement that you're making about you upholding the fullest manner the standards of the civil service, and yet not having a conversation with the Prime Minister about this matter. I think that will be generally interpreted as something of a contradiction, and therefore I'm interpreting that you have had that conversation.
I think I've said what I'm going to say. I refer back to the conversations that I had at the opening. There are juxtapositions and there are challenges that we have to manage. I have to. I take my responsibilities very seriously for upholding the Civil Service Code. I am not going to go into the private conversations that I've had with the Prime Minister.
Well, we all have a cross to bear. Let's just go into the more detail. Are there any